everybody. Welcome to the Mindful of Madness podcast. I'm your host, Andrew Ingram, and every week on the show, I talk to a different artist about the things they make and their process of making those things and how much I like those things, because I don't have people on the show I don't like. That's how I roll, baby. This week on the show, I'm sorry for calling you baby, by the way. We don't know each other like that, unless you're my wife, in which case, what's up, babe? This week on the show, we have a real good friend of mine, Charlotte Rogers. Charlotte is an amazing musician. She's a singer and guitarist for the great Colorado Springs band Stalemate. They are fantastic, kind of droney, sad, beautiful music. They have an EP out on Spotify and Apple Music, and you should absolutely check that out and make them famous. I would appreciate that, and I'm sure they would appreciate it a lot more than me. As for my stuff, hey, go check out my stuff, because I lost my job. I'm not employed at the moment, and so, checking out my stuff might help me, survive and eat for the next few weeks or months while I try to find something new. And that stuff is my album, This Was a Bad Idea. It's on Spotify and iTunes, just like Stalemate stuff. You should go check that out and listen to it 1,000,000 times. Listen to it while you're sleeping. Listen to it while you're at work and play it on your home computer. I don't care how you listen to it. I never have to find out that you didn't really listen to it. I just need the revenue, because eating is nice. I also have a website, mindfulofmadness.com. Hey, cross-branding with the podcast. Check that out, please. I've got a bunch of writing there that I worked really hard on, and that's all free, so I'm just doing that for the serotonin, baby. Again, sorry I called you baby. And finally, just check me out on social media. I write jokes and stuff there. Makes me feel good when people like them. And, I need the boost right now. I'd appreciate it. Check me out on Facebook or on Twitter at Drew Joker Ingram, or on Instagram at Andrew Ingram 88. All right, guys, I think that is all the business I have to talk about. So let's get into the fun stuff. My conversation with the wonderful Charlotte Rogers. To the show. It's Mindful of Madness. Yay!
Yay!
I'm your host, Andrew Ingram. You remember me from the intro, unless you skipped it, which, good for you, but there was some pretty important information about how to make $1 million, so go back and listen to that. No, I'm lying. There wasn't. It was just how I could make money off of you. Anyway, my guest this week, I'm really excited to have her, is a good friend of mine who I haven't gotten to see a whole lot in the past 6 months.
It sucks.
Because of the world. Which is how I've started, I think, every episode so far. My good friend who I miss. It's Charlotte Rogers, everybody.
Hello.
Hi. Charlotte's got a really cool band called Stalemate. They've got an EP up on Spotify,
Apple Music, YouTube.
Yep, everywhere you can find music. Is it on Pandora?
I think so. Yeah.
Apparently Pandora is where you can make all the money.
Really? Oh.
Yeah.
Huh. Well, I know you don't make really any on Spotify.
No.
I made like a couple cents.
Yeah. No, I get about 20 listens a day
Nice.
which is way more than I deserve, and way more than many more talented people than me get on their indie albums. But I did the math, and that comes out to about $30 a year.
Damn.
So-
Hey, well, you know that's $30 more than what you had.
That's true.
And you
And
get listens and networking. It's good.
yeah, hopefully people like it. That's you know.
for sure.
But yeah, Shar, it's good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Yeah, we're if you hear dulcet piano tones in the background that at some point turn into angsty indie rock, that's because we're recording this at Bar K, which is where Charlotte hosts an open
We
mic.
love Bar K.
We do love Bar K. So let's get into it, Charlotte. Let's start with the open mic because it's back now.
Yes, thank God. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I'm so happy.
Yeah, so let's talk about we met at open mics.
Yes, we did.
Like I've met most of my friends.
Uh-huh.
But what got you to start your own, and how did that happen?
So actually, I was playing a show at this little coffee shop called Roscoe's Coffee House, and this girl Annette had approached me after the show, and she had asked, "Hey, like we really want to start doing some music here. Would you be interested in hosting an open mic?"
Mm-hmm.
Didn't even know this woman, and I was like, "Yeah, I mean that sounds cool." So I like saved up some money. I bought like a cheapy PA, and we set up and we did it at her coffee shop, and it went really surprisingly well. Like I didn't even think people liked me. I had only lived here for like a year and a half.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, I ran that one for about a year and a half, and then Otis, well you know Otis,
Mm-hmm.
he started working at Bar K, and they needed help on Thursdays they just needed to make more money basically, and they
Right.
needed something to happen, and he offered to like pay me for an open mic, and I was like, cool, like yeah, for sure I'll do that, because at first I was running the open mic at Roscoe's for totally nothing.
Right.
I just did it for the sake of having a platform for people, and I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But yeah, Bar K's been great. I love it.
Yeah. It's one of my favorite shows in town. It's a mixed open mic, which I'm a big fan of.
I love it.
You can get all sorts of weird stuff.
Oh, so much weird stuff. I've had like dancers.
Yeah. There was that one. I can't even remember. Was he blind but he painted, or
No, I think was it the deaf guy who danced?
Yeah, there was a deaf guy who danced, and he just felt the beat or something.
You know, yeah, he did, and it was an interesting thing because I just had never seen anything like that in my entire life.
No.
But I was so happy because afterwards he was so like just lit up with joy. Like it was so cool because he had never done that before ever, and really struggled trying to go up. He didn't want to be made fun of, you know.
Right.
And I think what I love about this one is we don't make fun of people, you know. Like we
Right.
all are very supportive, and
Right.
that's something that I really wanted to have at this open mic.
Well, and I feel like I'm sure there are music mics that can get catty too.
Oh yeah.
But you know, stand-up comedy open mics aren't the most fun thing in the world.
Yeah.
And everybody's heard each other's jokes, and we're all we can get catty.
Yeah.
We can get, especially somebody keeps coming back who thinks they're really good, but they've only written 3 minutes.
Yeah.
You know that like. But at a mixed mic, I feel like some of that pressure is taken off the show just because there's breaks. There are different things happening.
For sure,
so.
yeah. I think we have a really good mix of poetry, music, comedy. I think it's a really, really good mix. I love
There's
it.
like comedy, they keep coming back.
No, I love it. I love it.
Yeah, so by the way, one of my the most fun I've had at an open mic was when I covered for you like once or twice here, just because I got to be a fucking idiot, and actually probably got paid better for that than any other hosting gig I've ever gotten.
That's awesome. That's so good.
I was like, hey, this is great. I mean, it would suck and I'd still be happy, but this was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever had a bad Thursday night here. Like, it's always been great.
Yeah, it's usually a lot of fun. What are kind of the things you're most excited to see at an open mic?
Honestly, kind of all of it. Like, I mean, as a musician, I really love seeing originals. Like, I love when someone comes in, or like a younger person comes in who hasn't started, or maybe it's their first open mic, and you know, they're super nervous, and they go up and they just blow it out of the water. They're so good, and everyone's so supportive. That's probably my favorite thing to see, because then they come back every Thursday, and then I can tell them about other open mics in town, and now they're starting to get into the scene, and they're starting to get shows. It's just so beautiful. I love it so much.
You just feel like a little puppet master.
Yeah, right.
Yes, you're all my little creations.
I don't know.
You'd be nothing without me.
Shut up. No, I don't know. I really want to see people be successful, because when I first started at open mics, I did not think I was good at all. Like, I thought I was awful.
Yeah,
and then,
but you were good. I didn't think I was good, and also I wasn't good. You were pretty good, right off the bat.
Like, I mean, if it wasn't for friends pushing me to perform, and if it wasn't for Mel Clemma, who like does all the comedy and stuff and had locals, and she was the person who booked me for the first time.
Oh, your first paid
first
gig
show,
was at Locals.
And
Locals to Last Call coming back next month with our. Actually, I recorded the episode already, but I don't like putting comedians next to each other.
Yeah.
So George Wagner is actually hosting that now.
Yeah, he is.
He and Russell Keller. And that's coming back next month.
Yeah,
so,
that's great. And he was telling me, I'm super stoked, because that show is awesome. Because I remember when she tried to book me for that show, I turned her down like twice because I was so nervous, and I didn't think I was like, oh, I don't know if I could do it. And then finally one night I was like, okay, I'll do it. And then I got booked more after that, so it worked out. It's really good what they do.
Well, so let's talk about getting into music, because I think we've talked about before, you've done music and you've been in bands and stuff before coming to Colorado Springs, but you hadn't fronted anything till you got here, right?
No, like, I had played some music with some friends. But I didn't really start playing shows and music and doing any of that until I moved here.
Right, so you were from Tennessee. I almost said Kentucky,
Oh,
and you would have been mad at me.
I would have been so pissed.
You just kind of like, we talking like living room jam sessions out there?
Yeah, or like going to the park with some friends, and I had probably started getting more into it a couple years before I moved, but I mean, I wasn't taking it seriously. I only knew like a few chords. It wasn't, But when I moved out here, I didn't know anybody, and I was bored, and so I started picking up my guitar more and playing, and here we are.
Yeah. Do you think, I mean, we have talked ad nauseum on this podcast about the dearly departed Zodiac.
Yes.
I had Andrea on. I think we've talked about it every episode, but
so sad.
Yes, very, very sad, and well tried. I'm sure everyone listening is sick of me talking about it, but that's where I met you. That's where I met so many people. And is that kind of where you feel like you got your legs?
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah.
Of course. That's where everyone got their legs.
Yeah.
Like, and Andrea Stone was incredible because, she hosts that open mic. And so when I first started going, I was playing covers, and she was like, when you come back, I want to hear original music.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck. I was like, I don't want to disappoint her, And so I went home and I worked on music all week and wrote some songs. They were horrible songs. But I got them, and I went back the next Monday and played them, and I was super happy to present them, and some people liked them.
I liked them. I still think they're pretty good. I mean, they were your first songs, but I still think they're good. Well, I remember you would come out and only play half the time at first.
Yeah.
You would come out and just chill.
Yeah.
You're like, are you going up tonight? You're like, no, I don't think so. I'll play next week.
Yeah,
and then you wouldn't. And finally, I think you hit a stride where you're much more comfortable, and that was a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah.
Because you have a wonderful voice. Did you grow up singing you're from the South, did you grow up singing in church, or was it just choir in school, or?
it was weird. I had tried out for parts in chorus when I was younger, and I never would get the part singing.
Really?
Yeah, and there was actually a music teacher I had who was she's like, God, you're just awful. She literally said that to me.
Wow.
Yeah, which is
That's
crazy.
Fucking terrible.
I know.
I have a terrible voice.
I'm gonna put her on blast. Her name was Miss King.
Oh yeah, fuck you, Miss King. No wonder you're not married.
Oh my god. Yeah.
That's a terrible thing to say.
It was
actually.
awful. It was super awful. But yeah, I never really sang, and I remember in church, my parents were super into church. Obviously the South, and I had sang a few songs in church by myself. They thought it was cute to have me up there, and then my sister was she was like, aren't you nervous? There's all those people staring at you, and it got to me. And
well, not until you said it.
So I was just this little kid bebopping around, singing, enjoying myself, and she just got to me, and I never sang again. Not for years.
That's really sad, but kind of funny.
I know.
Was she being malicious, or was she just curious?
She was being terrible.
Yeah. Is your sister older or younger than you?
She was older than me, 7 years older than me.
Yeah, see, that sounds calculated.
Yeah. She knew what she was doing.
Yeah, I remember I took choir in high school. I had to have a certain number of art credits, and I didn't want to take art because I was a bad artist, and I couldn't play any instruments, so I couldn't be in the band. I'm sure they would have taught me, but there was no way I was going to suck on that level. And so I wound up taking choir for 2 years because I could hide.
Yeah.
And I remember people would be like, oh, you're in the tenor section? It's yeah, bro, we've been in this class 3 months. I've been standing right next to you. It's oh, cool. But I remember singing something in the hall, and the choir teacher, I am a bad singer. And the choir teacher's why don't you ever volunteer for solos in class? Because I fucking suck, you weirdo. And for you to have such a beautiful voice, and somebody to outright tell you you should quit is crazy to me.
Yeah, I know. And it's funny looking back now, I'm hey, I'm pretty good. That lady was so just mean. And even as a kid, why would you ever tell a kid that? But it's okay, I'm good now.
Yeah. So have you been writing anything in the past few months, or have you?
I have written a few songs. I've written probably 3 or 4. 2 that I could probably play and be fine with. 2 that I'm still working on.
Yeah.
Because I'm actually trying to do some solo stuff right now. So I'm taking kind of a different direction musically, I guess. And I don't know, when the COVID thing first started, I was super depressed, and I just wasn't feeling it. And even now, sometimes I'll go weeks without picking up my guitar, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Because I think now more than ever I need it, but it's so hard because you can't play shows, you can't do anything. It just has definitely sucked the motivation out of me a little bit, for sure.
I find for myself, it's really hard to do the work unless I have a goal I'm working towards.
Yeah.
And look, you recorded an EP last year. You're set. You've accomplished things. You can rest on your laurels for a minute. It's fine. But I have found it very, very hard to write jokes. I've written maybe 3 in the past. I've written fucking Facebook jokes, but and sometimes I'll mine those for material on stage. Not often. I don't feel like I'm good enough at that kind of thing to really build a stand-up set around something I posted on Facebook. But not having shows to do, not having your friends actively telling you that, oh, we're waiting for the next thing.
Yeah.
And not having I don't want to call it pressure, but it kind of is.
Yeah.
It's a good kind of it's like a positive kind of pressure.
Yeah, I totally agree.
To make things. And so I've been fairly consistent with writing prose stuff, but jokes have fucked off, and so
Yeah.
I'm really hoping to buckle down and write more.
Yeah.
Now that I am slowly and trying to very carefully start going back out to mics and stuff.
Yeah, I think that's
Um,
definitely helping a lot of people right now.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I don't know what it's like to be a comedian. I'm not funny at all.
Right.
But,
Well,
like-
yes, you are. But,
But, like, you know, I just couldn't, like, it would be hard to figure out what jokes were good if I didn't have
oh,
people
it's
to tell them to.
it's
you
impossible.
know?
It's
Like,
impossible. At least for me, it's
Yeah.
impossible. Sometimes it's impossible even when people are listening. Because I'll get hung up on something that I know if I get this right, it's gonna work. God damn it! And I will try it and keep hitting audiences with a stupid fucking premise that was never funny in the first place. Because one guy laughed really loud the first time I told it.
Well, I feel like, you know, open mics, they're just for workshopping. That's what
Oh,
they're
yeah.
for, like,
Yeah.
you know.
How much? Let me ask you this: as a musician, you do a fair number of open mics in better times.
Yeah.
But do you find songs change a lot after you perform them live? Do you feel like you get feedback, or do you think, okay, this is done, now I'm gonna show it, and this is gonna be what the thing is?
No, I feel like I'm always, like, working on my stuff.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like there's always little parts I change, and I mean, honestly, there's, like, some songs I'll even change lyrics to.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
Yeah, like, it just depends on how I'm feeling, you know? So it's really tough when I go to record stuff, because I'm such a loose performer,
Mm-hmm.
you know, so to really sit down and buckle down and record something that's just going to stay the same, I really struggle with that,
Mm-hmm.
you know, so I feel like I'm always working on it.
What, do you just think that comes from your personality, or is that like an influence-driven thing? You're like, Jack White never plays something the same way twice.
I don't know. I mean, not really influence, but I guess personality. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like I'm always changing, you know, my moods are always just all over, you
Mhm.
know, so I like my music to be the same.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So you definitely, I mean, again, you are a very talented performer who's really only been doing this for a few years, though.
Yeah.
And kind of the first stuff you were writing, if I may say, was good, but it was all singer-songwritery
Yeah.
stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got Stalemate together,
Mm-hmm.
and that's definitely I feel like the finished product on the EP there is a darkness there, but it's not maybe as shoegazy as when
Yeah.
you guys started.
Yeah,
you
for
know?
sure.
Like you guys were droney as fuck, especially at
Mhm.
those first shows I went
Yeah.
to. And the EP is maybe a little more. I don't even want to say more. Well, yeah, more pop sensible
Yep.
than
Mhm.
kind of the live stuff
Yeah.
you've been doing. It's all the same songs, and they're. I feel like there's some negative connotations with saying it's pop sensible, but no, it's very it's beautiful.
Thank you.
But a little less abrasive than what
Yeah.
you guys had been doing.
Well, yeah, so honestly, that EP is a lot of my older songs, like when I first started, you
Mhm.
know? And songs that I had written a long time ago that I just really wanted to get out and record.
Mhm.
And then a lot of the newer songs that I had really made for Stalemate were more shoegazy and droney.
Mhm.
And that was really the direction I wanted to go. Even my solo project is a lot more shoegaze, drone, very sad.
Yeah.
You know, but like with Stalemate, so when we did our EP, you know, it was just, it kind of took a different turn because it was like an old story that I really needed to get out
Yeah.
and be done with it.
Yeah.
So I can move on to write other things.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it was definitely a little more poppy, which I'm okay with. I'm just
Yeah.
happy that they got recorded and,
Mhm.
and you know, recording went really well. And
And it sounds great. It
Thanks.
sounds great. And I do think that's interesting because our art forms are very different, but I felt exactly the same way about my album.
Yeah.
I love the jokes on my album. By the time I recorded it, I didn't
Kinda
want to
over
tell
it.
any of those jokes anymore.
Yep.
Now, and I've only been doing this 5 years. There are comedians who don't record an album until they're 10 years, or a special or anything until they're 10 years in, and some of those jokes are 8 years old.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know how you fucking do that.
Yeah,
Because
that's insane.
I'm ostensibly an open mic comic.
Uh-huh.
You know, I get to work sometimes, I get paid sometimes. But, you know, the reality is, I was sick of those jokes from doing them just at open mics. I don't know how somebody who's doing hours every,
Yep.
you know, doing 5 hours of comedy Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Yeah.
You know,
For real.
I don't know how somebody does a weekend of that for 10 years
Mm-hmm.
and doesn't record an album every 3 years.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand how you could possibly do that. But those comics are much better than me, so maybe I should shut the fuck up.
Well, I feel like it's definitely like it could be a little money driven, because like for us now, like doing open mics, there's like a passion. Like if I'm not currently like those songs I wrote 5 years ago or 4 or 3 whatever, I'm not in that place anymore.
Right.
So when I was singing them back then, there was more passion, there was more oomph. I was in that
Mhm.
moment. But now it's like I'm a totally different person, and I'm a totally
Right.
in a different spot and place in my life, like. You know, so, but those people, like the people who are like making it big and touring,
Right.
like they get paid to go tell those same jokes, you know, so I'm sure if I
Yeah.
was making
Yeah.
well,
Well,
tons of
and-
money, I'd be like, yeah, sure, I'll play this song till I run into the ground.
I guess that's a good point, because God knows Radiohead got sick of playing Creep.
Yeah, no shit.
You know? I mean, at least they got big enough where they could stop playing it and
Mhm.
people still came to
Yeah.
their shows. But, you know, I guess that's, for some reason I don't have the same, I haven't thought about it when it comes to music, because to me it feels like, oh, well, a beautiful song is a beautiful song
Mhm.
forever. I could listen to, I could listen to Hallelujah every day for the
Yeah.
rest of my life, you know, switch up the versions maybe,
Uh-huh.
but I'd never be sick of it because
Yeah.
it's one of the most beautiful songs ever written.
Mhm.
But, you know, maybe Leonard Cohen's tired of singing it.
Yeah, no doubt.
So, are you let me ask you this, because I know a lot of people are really having trouble with their creativity in the past few months. Are you excited about the music you're making right now, or is it just kind of like, do you feel like you've got to get out there to kick it into overdrive?
Kind of. I mean, I don't know. Like lately, and this is weird to say, but there's definitely like the stuff I'm working on I'm excited about,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm just feeling like it's not. I'm still working on like crafting it. So I mean, open mics would be cool if I could play shows. That'd be cool, but it's just so far away for me. Like with
Yeah.
the new stuff, I don't even. God, it wouldn't even be ready. You know what I mean?
No,
So,
you're
I
not
don't
gonna
think
play
so.
something tonight?
No way. I like.
No?
I don't
Oh,
know
come
what it is.
on, man.
I feel like for my open mic, like I had thought about because I never played this open mic. It's pretty rare.
Right,
when
pretty
do.
rare. I definitely think you should tonight, because we're on the podcast now and I can publicly challenge you to
Oh
play
no!
tonight.
But I didn't bring your guitar or anything.
Who fucking cares? 10 people are gonna bring
Oh,
guitars
acapella.
today. Yeah.
No, yeah, like so I started playing my open mic because I feel like sometimes I'll get a little I don't know, like unexcited, which I hate to say,
Yeah.
you know. And so I just wasn't playing my open mic, and then there was a couple weeks where I like challenged myself to play, and I was like, I'm gonna play a couple Thursdays in a row,
Mhm.
and it honestly felt great.
Yeah.
And you know, I only played 1 or 2 songs because the list gets long. I'm not trying to like step on anyone's toe. Like I'm the host. You don't need to hear me go on. Like I
Right.
want to hear what you guys have to say.
Oh man, that is
You
the
know?
difference between a musician and a comedian. It's like, I'm the host, I'm doing 5 minutes between every fucking comic. No, that's terrible. If you're don't fucking do that.
Yeah. Well,
Uh,
I don't know. I think it's like it could be a personality thing too, because
Mhm.
like even I don't know. It's still really hard for me to be like front and center on stage,
Mhm.
like with all the attention. Like if I had it my way, like I would be in the back behind the drums with a potato sack on my head and play that way. Like I just, you know, it's hard to. to just be in the spotlight sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, it's something I super struggle with.
Yeah. Do you think that's why you started the band?
You know, honestly, the only reason I started the band was I was playing solo shows like I do, and my coworkers came, and one of my coworkers' fiance came, Colin, who's my bassist, and he was like, you know, I play bass, like I would love to, let's jam, play some music, and then we just formed Stelmate. So
that's great.
Yeah, I wasn't even looking, you know,
Yeah.
and then me and him and. You know, we still play music together and hang out. So it's like, it's really cool. Like, I got pretty fortunate, and then we just found our drummer. Like, so it just kind of happened.
Yeah.
You know, which was great.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about influences for a minute.
Okay.
Who are the people that you were excited about when you were a kid, or are the people you were excited about as like a teenager even the people you were excited about that got you into performing?
Oh yeah. Like Stevie Nicks. Oh my gosh, I love her. Like Fleetwood Mac. Like I remember when I was like, I don't know, just a young girl. Like my mom had Stevie Nicks' Belladonna album on vinyl, and that was the first record or music really that I really got into. And I was like, I love her. I want to be like her. And then there was the
I want to be like Stevie Nicks.
Oh my gosh, everybody wants to be like Stevie Nicks. And then, you know, and then seeing like the Yeah Yeah Yeahs perform as a kid or as a teenager, I was like, God, they have so much energy. Like, look at her.
Where did you see them?
Well, I didn't see them live. I'm just talking like when I would see like documentaries or like anything like that. You know, it was just so cool to see. And so that definitely inspired me.
Yeah, I am ashamed to admit, and maybe I just haven't given them a fair shake. I don't get the Yeah Yeah Yeahs.
No.
I don't.
Oh,
I don't know.
That's okay. I'm not like obsessed with them, but I do love them.
Yeah.
I like them a lot. She brings a lot of energy, and she's in so many other bands. Like she's great.
Yeah, there are so many like cool bands from that time period that like for whatever reason, and it could just be because I was a boy. You know, but that's that New York scene, right? In the early 2000s.
Yeah.
I was way into, but I somehow missed out on the Yeah Yeah Yeahs, and I don't think I even heard any of their stuff until like Rock Band came out, and that Map song is on it, and everybody loves that song.
Oh,
I'm like,
it's a great song.
I don't know. I mean, it's like the lyrics are sweet.
Yeah.
But like I never like could get in. Maybe because I heard so many shitty people trying to sing it.
Probably.
On
I don't doubt it.
Game. But I never quite got into them. It's like I like other bands in that vein.
Yeah.
But never got into the Yeah Yeah Yeahs. Stevie Nicks is dope though.
I adore her. Like if I don't get to see her live, like, because she's getting older.
Yeah,
like,
but I feel like she's still got it.
Yeah, for sure. No doubt. I just hope that this whole COVID thing goes away so I could see her perform live before she, like, croaks, which I hate to say, but, you know.
There's so many, like, people I wanted to see that just, like, and had the opportunity to see, but because I didn't have friends to go with me, or
go by yourself.
Well, I could have gone by myself, but
I go to shows all the time by myself.
Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah. Well, I remember B.B. King would come through and play in like he'd play in Colorado like twice a year before he died.
Wow.
And I had tickets once, but I couldn't get anybody to go with me, so I just got sad and didn't go to the show.
My God,
and then he died. I did see Buddy Guy though.
Right on.
I saw Buddy Guy here, and he was maybe the best live performer I've ever seen. And swore like a motherfucker. It was so funny because old bluesmen, you know, like
they don't give a shit.
You know, and he was like motherfucker this, motherfucker that, and he's like, yeah. And then them hip hoppers came out, and so now I can say fuck whenever I want. It's like hell yeah, Buddy Guy, you can say literally anything, and I'm on board.
Oh man.
I had another question, and now I forgot. I guess do you have like plans for music in the future? Do you have plans for the open mic moving forward? Or are you just kind of getting your legs back after being out at sea like the rest of us?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I don't really have any like huge plans. As long as I can give people the platform and then the floor to talk and say what they need to say and get it out and workshop through stuff, like I'm happy as can be.
Yeah.
You know, I don't like. There's other people that have asked me to do open mics at their places or other bars and stuff, and there's a part of me that like I want to take them, you know, but like
Mhm.
then at the same time I'm like, I don't want to like wear myself out because I'm like, one is enough. I can give people a safe space, and I've been with
Mhm.
Barcade for like 2.5 years now.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
yeah.
It's
You
been
can always
long.
send them my way.
Yeah.
I could use the money.
Okay,
you know?
I will.
I'll host an all access open mic. Yeah. Oh, I remember what I was gonna say, and it was about Stevie Nicks. So I'm gonna go back to that because
That's
Stevie
fine.
Nicks
I could
is
talk
dope.
about Stevie Nicks all day.
Did you ever see that Sound City documentary that Dave Grohl did?
No.
Okay, so it's about this little record studio in like the desert, and I think California, where they had just a bunch of really cool bands come through and perform throughout like the 70s and 80s, and then kind of died off, and then Nirvana did an album there, and then they kind of exploded again, and eventually it closed, and Dave Grohl made a documentary about it. But he got all of the musicians he interviewed for the documentary to make an album.
Okay.
So like Trent Reznor's on it.
Oh wow.
Black Rebel Motorcycle Club is one of my favorite bands, but they
Yeah.
were by far the smallest band on the album, and I was just
Really?
excited they were there.
That's cool.
And Stevie Nicks is on it. Lindsey Buckingham is also on it, but on a different track.
Yeah, of course.
Not
obviously.
shockingly. The Stevie Nicks song is fucking dope.
Yeah?
And I think that's the first time I'd actually like seen an interview with her. And like as much as, you know, I love the band, like I never really gave Stevie Nicks as a
Oh man.
solo artist a fair shake, I don't think. And like she's straight up a rock and roll badass.
Dude, that's so crazy because I feel the opposite. Like I
Yeah.
feel like I was all about Stevie Nicks' solo stuff, and I
Mhm.
really didn't give Fleetwood Mac a fair shot.
Oh really?
Yeah, because my mom only had the Stevie Nicks Belladonna album, so
Mhm.
that's what I listened to as a kid. And then I was going through Summer Record, found the Fleetwood Mac, and I didn't
Mhm.
even realize that Stevie Nicks until I heard it, and I was like, damn, okay.
That sounds like Stevie. Oh,
Yeah.
it is Stevie Nicks.
So it was.
Oh,
quite
this
the
album's
opposite.
all about them fucking each
Yeah,
other.
pretty much. It's so good too. But yeah, man, I love Stevie Nicks. Just so much like female empowerment and beauty. I love her.
Yeah, she's awesome. Let's see, what else do I want to ask Charlotte about? When it comes to the more droney stuff, what was it that brought you to that? Was it just getting into like Loveless and that movement, or was it just making noise on your own?
It was honestly like I remember when I first, because I always played acoustic,
Mhm.
and then when I met my bassist Colin,
Mhm.
who was just a friend, he like brought over a bunch of music equipment to my
Mhm.
house because he just lived in an apartment with his fiance, and they didn't have the room, and I was like, well, you could store it at my house, whatever.
Yeah.
He was like, well, I'll keep it here, but feel free to like play around on it. And when he first brought it over, it sat in my music room for like months because it was so overwhelming to me.
Right.
Like he had all these pedals. I knew nothing about music. I don't even know how to play scales,
Mhm.
So I was like super overwhelmed, and he came over and just gave me a quick tutorial, and then I just went in there on my day off, and I was in there for like 4 or 5 hours,
Mhm.
just on the floor, messing around with all these knobs, not knowing what I was doing. And then I got a sound that I really enjoyed, and
Yeah.
I was like, fuck, this sounds cool, like this is so perfect. And it was honestly more so I was really into like Beach Fossils and that more surfy, like
Mhm.
Tony kind of stuff. And that was kind of what led me to that. And then I started listening to a lot more shoegaze,
Mhm.
and like I just kind of fell down the rabbit hole.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
just found that sound I liked, and it was over. Like
That's awesome. it's also like, it's also cool that you're willing not. And this is a problem a lot of us have, and I'm myself included for a long time, and I think I kind of broke myself out of it. But where our taste coalesce when we're junior, senior in high school, and if we're lucky, maybe a couple years after. You know, if you go to college, and but not me, but you know, you and then it kind of solidifies for a lot of people. But it's really cool when you're a person that's willing to grow beyond what you listened to when you were 17.
Yeah.
Because we're idiots when we're 17.
Oh God, yeah.
If I were
For
still
sure.
if I were still listening to what I liked when I was 17, I'd be a very different person. There'd
No
probably be
doubt.
rhinestones on my pants, which I think we all know I
What'd
can't
you
pull
listen
off.
to when you were 17?
Well, I mean, you know, I grew up in a weird environment,
yeah,
you know,
true.
so everything, and again, this is something else I've talked about on the podcast before, but, you know, what we liked was kind of defined by what our cousins had when we came
Yeah.
back to the States
Yeah.
and what was on MTV. And all of that was kind of filtered through our particular brand of repression growing up in that, you know, missionary society, which
Yeah.
there are a lot of good things about, and I'm not going to talk shit about growing up as a missionary kid, because I'm actually grateful for my weird
yeah.
multicultural heritage or upbringing.
Yeah.
But, you know, I listened to Creed until I was 19 probably,
Oh, man.
you know,
Oh,
and
no.
wasn't ashamed of it, you know? Like, because I didn't have, you
Yeah.
know, a reference. It's like, I heard punk rock, like, real, like, Bad Brains, you
Oh,
know,
I love Bad
when I was
Brains.
17.
Oh.
Which you want to hear. If you're lucky enough to hear Bad Brains when you're 14, you're probably a musician now. You know,
that makes sense. That's like when I was like 15, 16. Well, I would say 14 through 16 was when I really
Mhm.
started like musicking, like really
Right.
looking up, getting into punk rock and like
Mhm.
all of it.
You know, but like obviously I'd heard the Ramones and I'd heard the Clash on the
Yeah.
radio.
Yeah.
And it's like, this is fun rock and roll, but I didn't have like a definition for how this was different until I was almost out of high school, really.
Yeah.
And then, you know, and then from there, it really became a challenge to me in my very early adulthood. I'm going to learn everything I can because I have to catch up.
Yeah.
And cool people like cool music, which was a part of it. And I never became cool, but, you know, I got into cool music at least. You know, and obviously I knew bands like Nirvana, and, you know, that helped like guide me
Yeah.
on that path, getting in from Nirvana to the Pixies and stuff.
Oh,
I had
God.
a
Pixies.
roadmap already,
Yeah.
but I didn't know that the roadmap was there yet.
Yeah.
You know, I had to realize, okay, I can go on the Nirvana Wikipedia page and find out what they like.
Isn't the internet just
yeah.
grand?
Yeah, the internet's great. I mean, Wikipedia is wrong about a lot of
Yeah.
things, but also, you know, you can follow the citations. So, what are you listening to these days? What are the bands you're into?
Oh man, I've been getting into a lot of. Honestly, I've been listening to like some, I guess like shoegazy atmospheric black metal,
Okay.
which sounds crazy, but like Alcest and stuff like that. But also shoegaze a lot. I'm always listening to something shoegazy.
Yeah.
There's a
Like
band
my
called.
Bloody Valentine and the like.
Well, like like Ovlov. There's
Mhm.
so many good bands out there, and I just discovered. Well, not like just discovered, but I've been dabbling with like Chelsea Wolfe, who's been around for like ever, but I wasn't listening to her at all.
Mhm.
And a bunch of my friends had like talked about her. She's incredible. She's
Yeah.
like doom, kind of like, I don't even know how to describe it. It's
Yeah.
like this doomy, beautiful, like, amazingness.
Yeah. Is the voice screaming?
No,
Or is it,
no,
it's
not
okay.
at all. But she did come out with a new project called Mrs. Piss. Yeah, she did. And
Hell yeah.
they're actually awesome. Like,
Yeah.
I almost like her side project a little more than her solo stuff.
It's like her Gorillas.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, I like Gorillas so much more than Blur.
Oh, yeah. So I've been listening to a lot of stuff like that. And even like a lot of hip hop. Like I'm keeping it very like a lot of variety.
Oh, talking about stuff I didn't get into till much later.
Uh-huh.
Like, I thought hip hop fucking sucked until
no.
I was in my mid-20s, probably.
Oh man, who'd you get into?
Well, so obviously when I was young, I was into Eminem because
Mhm.
I am 32.
Yeah.
You know, so like it was required reading.
Yeah.
But then Eminem's like, "This is my boy. This is the next me," and it's 50 Cent. And I'm like, 50 Cent sucks.
Yeah.
I hate this. And I hated just that era of pop hip hop, what was available to me on MTV,
Mhm.
or what I heard when I came back to
Yeah.
the States was bad for the most part.
Yeah.
You know, Ludacris is out there, and I never really got into Ludacris,
Yeah,
but like,
me neither.
you know, there was, you know, and but like I didn't fuck with the Wu-Tang till I was like 25, and Wu-Tang's for
Yeah.
the children. That's not the time you're
Dude,
supposed to get into the Wu-Tang Clan.
I really feel like I listen to a lot of stuff from like the 90s, like
Mhm.
late 80s, early 90s. I feel like any band you look up in any genre really, like,
Mhm.
you know, hip hop, like Far Side or Pivot Gang,
Yeah.
and then going to like punk rock, you know,
Yeah.
Minor Threat, all those. Like in the 90s was just such a wholesome time for music, I feel like.
Yeah,
In 80s, like,
the 90s was a culmination of the underground
mm-hmm.
in a very cool way, both for punk rock and for hip hop.
Yeah.
Again, as I admit that I am not an expert on hip hop at all, I definitely delved a lot deeper into punk rock, but it was, and you know, there were some downsides of that. There was commodification of it. You know, the grunge movement went from purity to $100
Mhm.
flannel
Yep.
shirts
I know.
pretty fucking quick. But like in the meantime, there was really cool music being made.
Yeah.
And I think it's worth mentioning, the 90s were the first time female-led punk rock bands made any money.
Oh yeah.
You know, like,
oh my gosh.
you know,
yeah.
a band like the Muffs, you know, which, not the best punk rock band in the world, but a lot of fucking fun.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
I have one of their albums on vinyl because it was on sale, and I'm like, fuck
Nice.
yeah, I'm getting the Muffs.
That's
This is
awesome.
great. There's gonna be some screaming. It's gonna be rad.
Yeah.
And their bass player now does magic.
That's super
yeah.
rad.
Oh yeah, their singer died last year. I
Oh,
think.
no.
Yeah,
What
I'm pretty
happened?
sure. I don't remember, but I'm pretty sure she
Oh
died
gosh,
last year.
that sucks.
Yeah. Yeah. So you're into the shoegazy and you're getting into hip hop. I want to hear the Charlotte Robbers hip hop track. You know,
That's not going to be happening.
that might just be offensive on its face. Actually,
I just like to, you know, listen to it in my room alone and dance around.
Mhm.
You know, that's about the.
Yeah.
That's all that's gonna happen.
Do you think the beats are gonna, or the production of hip hop might wind up influencing what you do in the future, though?
I mean, I don't know, because I have been kind of dabbling with a beat machine since I'm doing my whole solo thing, but it's more of like, I feel like that kind of new wave sound has got me in it.
Okay.
You know, so I don't know. I don't think more like hip hop, but I'm definitely going more for like, I don't know, almost like a Blade Runner sound. Like 80s,
okay.
Like,
Well, we were talking beforehand how I interviewed CJ. Have you been listening to his Free Fab
yeah,
Soul stuff?
I love it.
It's really good.
Dude, he's so good. Anything he does is
Yeah.
gonna be amazing.
And since talking to him, I've been listening to it more, and it's kind of been like an introduction because you'll hear if anybody listened to that episode, I don't even know what questions to ask him about, because I'm not, I don't understand the culture or the process of making that kind of music.
Yeah.
But listening to it since we talked, it's kind of like opened me up a lot to the lo-fi hip hop genre.
And that's actually who CJ let me borrow his beat maker.
Oh, cool. Hell yeah.
So, and I haven't listened to, I just saw you post about his podcast today before I came in to do this one, so I definitely want to check it out.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you haven't been, like, on Facebook at all.
No, I don't get on Facebook
Are you just
anymore.
done with
I'm
it?
done, yeah.
It's pretty toxic.
Well, it is, and, you know, all the protest stuff I was getting really into, and I was just getting to the point where I was getting so involved, I was, like, losing sleep. Because I was literally working, protests, petitions, documentaries, doing all this stuff, and then Facebook was just too much. Like I couldn't, and I think I've been wanting to delete it for a long time.
Yeah.
But because I was a musician and I was in Stalemate, it was hard to still promote.
Right,
you
right.
know?
Well, you could still maintain the Stalemate page or whatever without it.
Yeah,
so.
and now with COVID, I was like, the perfect opportunity for me to just dip.
Yeah.
So I deleted it. Well, it's still up. I just don't get on ever.
Right.
And I did download the business pages so I could promote the mic and Stalemate stuff. But that's it. Like I'm done. So like I'm out.
I think I didn't even realize you were gone until I was looking for that photo you posted to me from last week.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, but where's Charlotte's page? No, Charlotte hasn't posted since July. Well, where's the Barcade? No, it's not there either.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Yeah.
I can't steal this from Instagram.
Well, I made the Instagram open mic page, and I just have to link it to the Facebook. I just haven't done it because I just downloaded the Pages app.
Oh, okay.
Like maybe a week ago.
Yeah, I don't even know how to use that. I think
So,
I have it, and I never fucked with it.
I've definitely been taking a break from just all things technology lately, and it's been really awesome.
That's probably a good thing. It's probably something I should take a look at doing myself.
Like it's been really great.
Yeah. Well, it's like look, we're saying nothing new, but it turns out arguing with people on Facebook for hours every day doesn't solve anything.
Doesn't do anything. It's
And
like raise your blood pressure.
Yeah, it doesn't do anything for you, and honestly, it probably doesn't do anything for the world. You're never gonna change that person's mind.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how right you are.
Yeah.
Like it's frustrating. Well, I feel like we're at a good point. Let's stop talking about that because it's bumming me out. Let's talk about something else that bums me out: money.
Oh God, you and me both.
Yeah. Now, no pressure because, like, most of the people on this, having Andrea on the show was great because she could talk about, you know, finding a way to make money in the arts in a really interesting way, since she's a sound engineer and you know, books a venue and stuff. But a lot of us are just floundering around trying to make a buck, doing what we like doing versus the bullshit we have to do for a paycheck. So what's kind of your ethos about making money in the arts? Do you have one, or do you think about it at all?
I mean, I really don't, and I probably should.
Yeah.
But I really like I don't even know. Like even when Stalemate, when we came out with our EP, like I hadn't even checked our balance, like on how much we made, and my email would always alert me, like, hey, cha-ching, you made this much on Bandcamp. And I was like, cool, you know, like it was great, but I don't know. I guess making money is great, but I always put what I make creatively back into creative stuff. So, so whatever we make as a band goes right back into just music stuff. So it's like we really don't see it anyways. But I would say, I mean, if you're trying to make money doing the creative thing, you could always. I think that the biggest thing is getting something recorded and then trying to put it out there.
Right.
And try and get people, you know, Bandcamp to purchase, making, you know, shirts and stickers. I've always found that to be extremely helpful for us, because before we weren't doing that at all.
Yeah.
Like we weren't doing anything.
Yeah.
And then as soon as we got shirts and stickers and all that, everybody was like, "Here, take my money." And I was like,
Yeah,
"Okay,
yeah.
cool."
Well, and the Stalemate shirts are cool.
Yeah.
Like, they're very simple, but
yeah,
it's like,
that's what I like about
I got
them.
this cool shirt.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
one of my friends drew up this crazy design, and I was like, I just don't, because that's not me. That's not,
Mhm.
you know, I'm very simple. My music's pretty simple. Like, I'm not, I didn't want anything crazy.
Yeah, I made that very stupid YouTube video thing. You watched that, right?
Yeah, I did. I
And
did.
I didn't realize till we were editing it that I'm being this complete. If you haven't watched the video, go to my YouTube page. Andrew Ingram on YouTube. My face is on it. My face is on the podcast. You figure it the fuck out. The concept of the video is I haven't done stand-up in 4 or 5 months at the time, and this was supposed to be my first time back on stage, but I'm playing a very different comedic character than what I actually am. I'm playing like a shitty road hack club comedian, which, like, I might be a hack, but I'm definitely not that kind of hack comedian. And I'm wearing like this corny jacket that's been in my closet since I was 22, and I've never worn it until I did this thing. But I realized halfway through editing, I'm wearing a Stalemate t-shirt in the video, and I'm like, I kind of feel bad about it because I'm being
That's
such
good.
a shitty version of myself.
Well, you know, at least it gets us out there.
Well,
Whatever. you
well, and
know?
I'm also thinking, yeah, but Stalemate's really cool. This character wouldn't be wearing a Stalemate t-shirt. He'd be wearing like a fucking Whitesnake t-shirt or something, you know?
True. Yeah, very true. Or an Eminem shirt.
Actually, he'd be wearing a Genesis shirt. That's... that motherfucker is really into Genesis, but after Peter Gabriel left. Like...
Good God.
Yeah. No, I do think that making something is important.
Yeah.
Not even just so you can generate passive income, because, like you said, neither of us have made a lot of money
Yeah.
off the thing we made, but it does lend a little bit of credibility,
Mhm.
which can help you get booked. It can
Yeah.
show people, hey, I'm capable and I'm serious about this.
Yeah.
Which I think is important.
It is. And then you get booked on bigger shows, you know. I mean, I've been before all of this, we were getting booked on really, really good shows
Yeah.
with like really good bands. So we were making better, like way better money,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
way better than our shirt sales. So kind of a bummer, all this stuff.
Yeah,
you know,
well,
shows.
and that's the thing for bands. I think most local bands make a lot more money on T-shirts than they ever do
Yeah.
on album sales.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And it's really hard to make money on merch if you're a comedian,
Well,
unless you're touring.
that's true. That's true.
Right, because you'll look like an asshole if you have a bumper sticker that says "I farted." You know, that's my catchphrase.
That's true. That's true.
And like I've made buttons before, and I think I've sold maybe 10 of them total since I made the buttons 4 years ago. You know,
Is that the narwhal one?
yeah, that's
I
the,
have one of those.
Yeah.
On my guitar
Well,
strap.
and I gave way more of them away just because, like, they're cool buttons. Like,
Yeah.
I liked them. But I you know, I was only selling them for $1, but also
Yeah.
I didn't want to tell my friends they had to pay me
Yeah,
money at a
right.
goddamn open mic.
But if they're good friends though, they'll give you money.
Yeah, and I think that's actually an important business thing to bring up, and maybe something we haven't really touched on the podcast before is if you've got friends who are artists, fucking support their art.
them with whatever you have.
Like, yeah, we're all struggling. We're all working shitty
Mhm.
jobs for no money, and if you're friends with an artist, you're probably also working a shitty job for no money.
Or like even
But-
bartering has been really good. Like,
Yeah,
there was
yeah.
a girl, her name's Nicole. I wish I could remember what her studio is called or what her. She just came out of the business. She's doing like a bunch of artwork, and she did this vinyl that had the moon phases on it. It was super cool, and it was on Instagram. And I was like, "How much for that? Like, I would love to like support your artwork."
Mm-hmm.
And she like told me how much it was, and she was like, "But if you want, could I get a Stalemate shirt?" And she lives in Montana now.
Mm-hmm.
So we like just shipped our merch,
Oh,
and I
that's
got
awesome.
an art piece, and she got my shirt, and it was beautiful.
Yeah,
you know, just supporting, and it was awesome.
I did the same thing with Tim Furlow, who was our second guest. Go back and listen to that episode. Even if you have already, I need the listens, guys. I need the ad revenue. It turns out some shit's going weird in my life. Okay, nothing terrible. All my relationships are cool. It's just dire times. But yeah, he. I traded him one of my albums for a print because I wanted to get Brittany a birthday present. And Tim's like a serious artist. He's, you know, he shows all over the place, and his actual art is worth a lot of money. But you know, he still sometimes it's hard to sell a $2,000 painting.
Yeah, no doubt.
You know, but I can trade a CD for a $20 print.
For sure.
You know.
Yeah. And even like ask about payment plans. Like ask if there's a piece you like I've done that before. It was a really nice piece, and I was like, look, like I can give you this chunk up front, but can I do a payment plan? And that helps them because then they're getting money kind of consistently too. It's better than nothing, you know.
Well, and if your friend's a musician and you have a birthday party coming up that you want to be a blowout, and they're good, ask them to do the birthday party. Pay them $50, you know?
For
mean,
sure.
obviously that's not going to work if you're friends with the Strokes, but those guys were rich anyway, so fuck them. You Lou Reed sounding motherfuckers with your fashion photographer fathers. Fuck you, the Strokes. I'm going to go listen to the Yeah Yeah Yeahs.
Yes, got him.
Same scene, whatever.
Yeah.
You know, but there are ways to support your friends that you're probably not thinking about. Like, if you see somebody you like on tour and you buy a sticker, okay, that might be the difference between them eating a ham sandwich and eating Taco Bell that day.
Yeah, no doubt.
You know, and guess what? Taco Bell's not great, but it's kind of better than the third day of bologna sandwiches.
Yeah,
you know,
real.
like the little efforts, and this is something that punk rock has taught its fans, but it has. I feel like other indie scenes haven't learned yet, and we live in a society that. And especially comedy hasn't learned this yet. But we live in a society where I think pretty much anybody listening to this show is kind of a fuck the man type of person.
Yeah.
You know, if you've listened this long to my blathering, talking over my guests and not being that funny, you're a fuck the man type of person. And part of fucking the man is supporting the underdogs.
Yeah,
and,
for sure.
You know, indie artists are underdogs, and we're fighting against. We're not even fighting the bands with record labels. We're fighting the record label machines. We're fighting. I'm fighting the YouTube videos that generate income for Comedy Central, which is already a goddamn television network,
sure.
right? We're the little guy. It's fun to support the little guy.
Yeah, and even if you don't have money, like if you truly don't have money, share their stuff.
Oh yeah,
share it. You know, be like, hey, I found this really cool band. Like, you know, I do that all the time.
Yeah.
Like, and it's so easy.
And we've hammered this home. I hammered this home on the episode with Andrea. You know, Stalemate has an album. Charlotte has an EP on Spotify right now. If you can't buy it on Bandcamp or iTunes,
listen to it for free.
You can listen to it for free, and you can put it on repeat and go to bed in the other room. And Charlotte's never gonna know.
Yeah.
I'll know because I know all. But Charlotte's never gonna know if you listen if you leave that shit on for 8 hours, if 10 of you do that, she might actually make 50 cents.
Yeah,
you know?
who knows? Big bucks.
You know, but not only does that help monetarily, it also helps with the algorithm. It pushes the music out to more people.
Yep.
Which is honestly more important than the money for
Yeah,
most
for
of
sure.
us.
Yeah.
Is getting our work
No
out to
doubt.
more people. I mean, the money's important because I can't speak for Charlotte. I fucking hate working. I hate working a day job. You know, I want to make
really
a.
love my job.
Yeah, I know you've got a cool job. I never liked one of my jobs. I've
Yeah,
worked.
this is the first one I've ever really enjoyed.
Yeah, and part of that's probably attitude on my part, but you know, I've never had a job I like, and I'd really like to do this.
Mhm.
You know, I want to make jokes and write stories and make a living doing that, but that's very, very, very hard to do, and so anything you guys can do to help, I would appreciate. But
Oh,
not
yeah.
just for me. Like, fuck me. Do it for people in your own life that are trying to
For
do
sure.
stuff. You know.
Yep.
Yeah, but I feel like we've come to a natural conclusion here. I've ranted and raved enough for one episode. Charlotte, what are things that people should check out from you?
From me,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, check out my open mic page.
Yeah. Open mic at Bar K.
Open mic at Bar K.
At Bar K,
yeah,
yeah.
Bar K Cocktails.
She's
also-
not on Facebook, but you are, so check that shit out.
And also check out Stalemate. And send me a follow on Instagram. It's _joyless. Follow me, because I am going to be working on another project. So and since I'm not on Facebook, it's going to be a little
Yeah.
harder.
Yeah,
probably to
you got to get
promote.
on Twitter.
Yeah, that's what
It-
I've
which-
heard. I don't know if
No,
I need more
you
accounts.
don't.
Thank you. I don't think I
It's-
need more accounts. I have an Instagram.
Yeah, I swear to God, Twitter is the most pointless of them at the moment. At
Yeah.
least for me, it could be a different experience for you.
Yeah, I
but-
just never have so much to say. Like, I can't
Yeah.
imagine just words, like just typing.
It's fun to write jokes, but
Yeah.
it's really hard to get seen
Yeah.
on Twitter. So it's like the potential to be seen by the entire world is there because it's
Mhm.
not like Facebook where they. Like somebody could
Friends.
share something that's following you, and then somebody who isn't
Yeah.
following you would see it, which is a very cool idea. But it doesn't. I think around 2015 they kind of hit peak.
Yeah.
This is all Twitter can really take, and after it's been useless, but I still do it every day. So, but yeah, Instagram, that's Joyless. I remember you changed your name, and for like a month, I was like, who the fuck is liking my posts? Who is this person?
Yeah. Well, I changed it to Joyless because that's my new project name.
Oh, okay, cool.
So,
Cool.
Yeah, it's just my solo stuff that I'm working on. But also follow Stalemate too on
Yeah.
Instagram. But that's about it, really. I don't,
Yeah, and since I promised myself I'd actually start giving my own plugs at the end of the episode, because I fucking hate it, but I'm going to do it anyway. Now that I've talked about how you have to follow all my shit all episode.
And support local.
And support local.
local.
Yeah, don't just support local artists, support local, period.
Mhm.
You know, support local breweries,
Yeah.
support local, goddamn clothing shops.
Yeah.
I understand. We got to get our groceries at Walmart because that's all we can afford. But, so when you have a couple extra bucks, spend those extra bucks supporting
Yes.
somebody in your community instead of a giant corporation.
Yes.
But as for my stuff, my album, This Was a Bad Idea, obvious. What's the Stalemate album called?
Oh, When You Were Still.
When You Were Still. It's beautiful. I'm so happy because I've listened to it a bunch on purpose for the reasons I've stated here. But because of that, it will come up on my on my
nice.
liked songs a lot
Oh,
because I've
good.
listened to it a lot. Hey, that's Charlotte. I literally know this person. This is exciting.
Yeah, and
Um,
I will say that John Bueno, another comedian, I don't know if he's gonna be on the show. Or
I'll get him on the show eventually.
But
yeah.
he actually did the album artwork. I
Oh,
paid
did he?
him.
Okay, I didn't know that.
I actually paid him
Yeah.
to like make a design for album cover.
Yeah,
so.
I gotta talk to. I've got some stuff that's gonna need artwork soon.
Yeah,
so I
go to
was,
him,
I
he's
was,
great.
I was thinking of talking to him. I have a very specific. I have no artistic ability myself, but I also have a very specific vision.
Yeah.
So I have to find the right artist for it. But he's one of the people I need to talk
Oh
to.
yeah, he's awesome.
Anyway, my album. This was a bad idea. iTunes. If you do it on iTunes, please give it a rate and a review because it has 2, I think. If you check it out on Spotify, give 1 or 2 of the tracks a like. Give me a follow on there. If you DM me, I'll fucking send you a copy for free because I have CDs and the post office needs help. It's literally the least I can do. And yeah, check out my writing at mindfulofmadness.com and look out for updates because hopefully I'll have a couple ebooks up for sale in the next 3 to 6 months. So that's actually going to be a minute, but I'm excited about it at the moment, so I'm going to tell you about
That's
it.
Great.
Yeah, okay. I love you guys. Go make stuff. Also, I don't really love you. I don't know you. It's disingenuous when public figures do that. Goodbye.